leave what?
As students leave, we need less teachers.
Well, you do need less teachers, but I
Correct.
know that in the elementary classrooms, I mean, they're over 30 plus each.
And that's the reason why the answer is a yes and no to that.
Okay.
And the reason why I say that is because we also went through and looked at our class sizes to take a look and see where are the big numbers. And what I did is I did a report. You guys can't see it, but I can make sure we get online. But I did a report in both the high schools as to our class sizes. What I look at is that when you look at the national standards, and this is talking about teacher standards, this is talking about ed leadership standards. The standards are 30 kids in a classroom or less. And that's national standards. If you have more than 30 kids in a classroom, they consider it to be too large. If you have less than 30 kids in a classroom, you consider it to be okay. So by using that standard, I looked at our teachers and said, we have, in high school, we teach 5 blocks. We have 5 blocks, 5 periods a day. A teacher teaches 4 of them. 5th period is a prep. So if you take 30 times 4, that's 120. Teachers should have 120 students they see a day. So I went through and did a calculation to see how many students our teachers have per day. And what I discovered is about 70% of our high school teachers are underutilized. They don't have 120 students. In fact, they have far less than that, and many of them have well under 100 students a day. So when they say that the class is overcrowded, that's a yes or no. In the high school, no, it's not. They're not overcrowded. We do have some classes that are above 30, band, phys ed classes, and there may be a few others. But when we went through and looked at it, you see, look at all the green on this sheet. Green means the underutilized, means there's not enough students in those classrooms.
Are you referring to Kennedy or both of the
Both
schools you did?
high school, they have both, have one for each, both.
In this school here, Truman is
Correct,
doing
that
the
is
same
correct.
way?
That is correct. Right. So what we're saying is that almost 3/4 of our teachers are underutilized.
But isn't it more beneficial for our students to be a few less students in the
Oh,
class?
absolutely. If I could create a situation of 1-on-1 or 1-on-5 or 1-on-10, absolutely I would. But economically, can we afford that?
But where do your elementary kids go, though?
Well, that's
when they
the
go
other
up?
thing. Our elementary classrooms right now are very full. And we went through and did an analysis as to our elementary schools versus our high schools. If we look at the numbers in elementary, you'll see that most of our elementary buildings are 85% occupancy or more. Some are 90%, some are 95%. In fact, we have one elementary, which I think is Eureka Heights, that's at 110% occupancy. They have more kids than they're supposed to. But then we look at our high schools, and what we discover is that Kennedy, which is the largest occupancy of all the secondary, when I say secondary, I mean middle school and high school, which is 85%. Truman's occupancy was 48%, less than half. We look at
Tell
what's...
you something,
Was that?
a lot of people don't want to go to Truman. I went to
I
Truman.
understand, but I'm saying, if you want numbers, I'm looking at numbers. We look at West, and we look at Hoover. Both of them are right around 65 to 70% occupancy. So that is telling us that in the secondary, there is a lot more room that's available for
What
use.
will that do to class size if you put them, the high school over here?
Well, and once again, I'm getting to that in just a moment.
Just before you go on, you said 48% here. Is that utilizing the entire building or just the portion that was initially built for the high school?
That's utilizing the portion that's now being used right now.
For
There's
the
parts
high
of the building,
For the whole entire building?
yes, for the whole building.
So the
Now that
whole
you
building
put-
is now open for the high school? Yes.
Yes, it has been.
There's nothing else housed in this building?
Like in secondary schools
Titan
here.
Yeah, they have like special ed offices and stuff like that here. But we're not counting that as the space.
Okay.
We're not counting that space.
Yes. They closed Titan and put it here.
Yes,
So
we
how do you keep this attractive if this school ends up becoming so full, because you have Kennedy and Truman here and all these, the school of choice and everything, you're gonna kind of push Taylor residents out of your schools because the schools think that you can't.
Well, the answer
People coming in.
the answer's not necessarily. Because, and I'll be honest, okay, if we would take all school of choice kids and get rid of them all, it goes another $10 million.
And can I just say
And
this?
I'm just being flat honest.
I just want to say this. I am a school choice parent from Southgate because my kids have grown up in this district. And if they were to eliminate school choice, my family, who many of you know, would not be a part of this district anymore.
And there are a lot of families like that.
You don't want to lose good families.
No.
I don't think school choice is bad at all. I just think that how are they gonna keep people to wanna keep coming to the schools here if they're not cheap packed?
Well, that's what-
The classrooms are cheap packed
And that's what we're talking about, is we looked at the same thing. We looked at exactly the same thing and said, that's one of the things we wanted to look at, is not only can we make this district solvent, because what we've been doing is chasing a runaway train. The last 5 years, the student count has gone down. We're losing about $2 million a year. And the district is trying to make up for that by cutting teachers, which ultimately does increase class sizes. Loses services. We lose classes. There are classes we can't teach because we don't have the instructors. But yet our neighbors are teaching those classes. What happens when families come here and want their kids to take classes like botany, zoology, computerized accounting, AP geography, and so on?
Language.
Was that?
Foreign language.
Foreign
They're
languages.
required and they only have that.
And we don't have it here because we had to cut the position. What do? They go to our neighbors.
That's what's gonna happen.
Exactly. So what we're saying is, what we have to do is figure out a way to keep those classes here, keep those classes going, and as well as trying to keep the class sizes down. How do we do that? Well, right now, for example, and that's one thing you'll see in the PowerPoint, and I'll use an example, is if I have an algebra class with 75 students, well, I can't have one teacher, 75 to 1. So I can go with 2 teachers, that puts 37 students in one class and 38 students in another. That's still too much. That's above that 30 line. So I go with 3 teachers, 25 in the classroom. Those 3 teachers are now underutilized because they don't have 30. Not bad, it's okay, we do that, but not a big deal. Now Truman does the same thing. They have 75 kids that want the algebra. They also have 3 teachers. Kennedy has 3, Truman has 3, but if we put them together, that's 150 students. Divided by 30, it's 5 teachers. We eliminate 1 teaching position. Now you do that with 1 class, we do that over and over and over and over again, and what do you end up with? Several positions you can cut. Why we talk about cutting teaching? Is because 80% of a district's funding is in personnel. We don't create cars, oil type products. We create students with good educations, and it takes personnel. So 80% of a school's funding goes toward personnel. If you want to make a real adjustment to the budget, you have to cut personnel. So what we got to do is try to find a way to cut personnel while keeping class sizes at 30. And the one way in which you can do that is I take those classes which I have that are underutilized, and I mix them with classes here that are underutilized, and we ended up with being able to eliminate a teacher here, a position there, a spot here, and that's how you save money. In fact, when we go through this, we have 6 administrators between the 2 buildings. We don't need 6 administrators. Probably get away with 4. We have, to your left. Yes, finish up, please.
Mr. Sailors,
Yes,
you just said that we have classes we can't offer
yes,
because we don't have teachers to teach them.
yes.
Then your next comment out is that we will be able to get rid of teachers.
Right.
So you're not offering any extra
We're not offering new
classes.
classes.
Well, we'll be able to, and I'll get to that.
That's not what you said. You said
But
we
I will be able, let me get to
cut
that.
costs. We're
Let
gonna
me,
get rid of teachers.
let me get there.
And
Let me get there.
as far as 30 kids per classroom all in one building, do we have enough capacity here
Yes.
to take both schools and put them all?
Hold on, the answer is yes. If you look at the functional capacity of this building, which is 30 kids per classroom, times all the classrooms we have, versus the square footage here, This building can hold over 2,000 students at 30 a classroom.
And so, Mr. Saylor, with the passing of those students, do you plan to have them pass all at the same time? Or are you gonna stagger their schedule so they can work the hallways?
And the hallways
I
have all
couldn't
the
stand
it. I'm a student here at Truman. I'm an AP student. I'm involved in a lot of stuff. And I get it's a big old concern about the capacity of the school. But to be honest, they have a whole lot of room. During the school, say I'm going to go help out or something, it's actually like a whole lot of classes that's completely empty. The room, the lights off, there's nobody in there, because we have a whole lot of extra room. The hallways, we walk through the hallways, you can walk perfectly. I promise you, if you want to, you can lay down the road. It's a whole lot of room. It's enough room for us and Kennedy. And if we are being completely honest, by us combining with Kennedy, it's going to be so much better. Sports, we've seen how sports be in the past 2 years. Everybody here has seen I was a football player. I'm going to college to play football. But I know that the past 2 years for me have been terrible. But I know with the talent that Kennedy has, combined with what we got, we could have been amazing. We could have been the best runner.
We've been the best in Down River.
Why not?
They don't get to play.
Yeah, it's a community that we combine. If we combine the education, like he said, it's so many classes that we can't offer. My freshman year, I had a French class. I love that class. But after the first trimester, they had to cut it. We couldn't afford it. We couldn't get a teacher because, like you said, we don't have the budget for it. And we need, by us combining, it's going to be a lot better for us. A lot of our kids, y'all making them choose between friends. When they go to Hoover, when they go to West, you have a friend, when they go to 6th grade academy, you create a big bond with all these kids. And so when you decide that, okay, now they're about to split up and go to Hoover and West, they're losing friendships, and that's also causing drama. Taylor has been causing a lot of drama there. We all know that. And by them going to two different schools, that's nothing but drama right there. Because now the schools got beef with each other. Then y'all go to 2 different high schools. Then you bring the West kids over here, and it's just nothing but drama. If we combine, it's a big family again, right?
Take that drama away because for some reason, like there's like a big rivalry
It's
between
always a
Truman
fight.
and Trinity. For some reason, like at Trinity and Truman
A
basketball
lot
games.
of us here are from the generation when they closed Taylor Center. And made us all go to Truman or
We
Trinity.
remember what it was
We
like.
remember.
It wasn't about the classes, it was about the hallways. The fights went
This
up
was
that
our
year.
generation.
It was outrageous. We
In
couldn't
all
breathe.
due respect, young man, you might think they can pass, but I've been here with as many as 1,800 students with the projected 1,900. It can't happen all at the same time. Mr. Saylor, is there a plan?
It's